Looks like we're live. How you guys doing? Welcome once again to another week of the Pre-PT Chat live with myself, Joseph, and Mr. Casey Coleman there. He's out here doing his thing, but it's his day off. It's your day off, right, Casey?
Yeah, they gave me today off. So I'm just out here enjoying the day, not in the clinic.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So Casey, before we begin, because right now we're sharing this out to the pre-doctor of physical therapy students page. Tell us a little bit about your experience so far with your current rotation. And it's a little loud in the background, but tell us a little bit about your entire process. You know where you're at right now, the transition you're going through to get into your last rotation.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry about the motorcycles, the wind, the cars. I'm kind of in a quietish place, but it's the best I can do for 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time while I'm out here. But yeah, I'm finishing up actually tomorrow my third out of fourth rotation. The next one is my fourth one. Then I'm done. Then I graduate. So
Let's go.
they all been fun. They all been good experiences. Learned a lot. This is probably the one that I've learned the most clinically from. There was a lot of new machines, a lot of new stuff, a lot of patients. I saw everyone from, pediatric patients to geriatric patients, everything from the neck down to the, ankle. So I've learned a lot. I knew how to run a business before all these internships and didactic work and hands-on clinical work. But now I feel like a physical therapist. I got my own caseload, got my own patients. They're trying to schedule
Let's
for
go.
me and all that stuff. They're like, "You're leaving? What's going on?" So it feels good. It feels good. I'm ready. I'm ready for the last one and to be done.
Bro, it's an amazing time, and for y'all pre-PTs, it's going to be something great for y'all to look forward to when you guys are getting to that point where it starts to fall in place, where you start to feel like you have a little control, where you feel as though everything's slowing down for you. It's like sports, right? When you come in as a rookie, everything's just so fast paced. You're trying to catch up with everything, but then ultimately it starts to slow down. But how does this apply to y'all as pre-PTs? We want to give you a little glimpse into what it looks like in the future. But tonight, we want to talk about how to find the right mentor for you. All right. So before we begin, can some of y'all comment? Like, do you guys have somebody locally? This does not even have to do with physical therapy. Do you guys have somebody locally, or when you were a child, when you were in high school, in college, at some point in your journey, have you had individuals that you have looked up to that you would consider a mentor? It could be a life mentor. If you're into sports, it could be like a sports mentor. It could be an academic mentor. But do you comment below? Like, how many of y'all have had some sort of a mentor? And if you have, tell us a little bit about what they were. Like, if it's basketball, drop basketball. If it's PT, say PT. If it's dance, say dance. So I want to see that below. Casey, before we even get into this more specifically for pre-PTs, tell us a little bit about some of your mentors leading up to where you are now.
Oh yeah, I mean, it could be everyone and everything in certain situations. Okay, for this situation, I would look up to that person. For this situation, that clinical stuff, other people. So it's not necessarily one person or one group of people, but
Yeah.
I try to pull from as many different people and their experiences as possible. So everyone, from my dad, grandfather, uncles, cousins, to of course, then going down to basketball coaches, teachers. Uh, Now going into the physical therapy world, of course, Greg Todd, people like that. I don't know if he's watching now. He was messaging us earlier, but we can tell him even the story of, we can tell the pre-PTs of the story of how, we came across him and joined that family, and now we're pretty much here. So really, I try to pull from everyone and everyone I interact with to get that cumulative, experience and to enhance my own growth in everything I do. So not just necessarily one, but as as I'm going through life, pulling in everybody that I can take something from.
Exactly. And the thing is, guys, here, okay, so let's step back a little bit. We're all at a completely different place in life. Y'all could be so we have students in our course that are not traditional pre-PTs, and so one of them is like a PTA looking to become a physical therapist. We got students that are just transitioning into it. We got students that are just starting their journey as pre-PTs. We're all at different places. I'm a physical therapist. Casey is finishing up. He's about to start his last rotation before he finishes up physical therapy school. We're all at a different place, and we all recognize that. But at the heart of it, we all recognize that there is somebody that knows a lot more about what we're aiming for than we do, right? So let's bring it down to physical therapy, because that's where a lot of y'all are. So as pre-PTs, there is always somebody that's going to know more about the journey you're about to encounter than you do, which is an absolutely amazing thing, right? The problem is a lot of us don't really take full advantage of it. We have a lot of peers that we, you know, hang out with, whether it's your friend group, whether it's your study group, which are all good. But the honest truth is, at least what I saw when I was, you know, coming up through my pre-PT journey, is that there weren't a lot of individuals that were looking up to pre-PT like guidance. So for myself, even how pre-PT grind even started, like, really came from just looking at students that were 2, 3, 4 years ahead of me, and just being like, yo, what the heck are y'all doing that made y'all get to where you are? So everything from the basics of the academics, like I say this publicly, chemistry and physics were two of my hardest classes as a pre-PT. Like I struggled hard with them. And so I naturally went to them. I was like, yo, like, how in the world, like, how did you navigate it? What were the steps you took when you got to this point? How did you, and they were able to break it down for me. They might have not remembered what was on, you know, a given chapter, but they could tell me how they went about it. They could tell me the strategies that they utilize to pretty much set themselves up to get accepted into PT school. And that's why I was like, yo, if y'all got in, then why the heck would I also not want to get in? So for you, like, a big thing is in the very little things that you guys are doing, whether it's you applying this cycle, because we know a lot of y'all are applying this cycle, whether it's some of y'all that have been hit back up by schools recently saying that you are on the wait list, or saying that you are coming in for their interview, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. If you're applying next year, the year after that, there's always someone that's going to be ahead of the game. So my question is, which one's better? Is it easier to just kind of play it and just kind of roll with it and go in the dark and figure it out as you go? Or just ask the person that has the cheat code already, like, because they already went through it. Either they figured it out from their mistakes, or they did the very same thing we're telling y'all to do. They found mentors ahead of them. And so for you guys as pre-PTs, because we honestly, like, we say this, but we honestly do, like, we believe in y'all a lot, but we also pour into you because we, like, firmly believe that you guys are the future of where this profession is going. Everything that this profession is going to push, everything that this profession is going to excel in, all the doors that it's going to open, like all the transitions that have happened before, like, you know, PT going into sports or peds or all of that, you guys are going to be the ones that open the doors after. So we have to pour into you. But in terms of y'all getting into physical therapy school, in terms of y'all setting yourselves up to win, like, you have to find some guidance. You have to find some guidance. But like Casey was saying, he's like looking up to the plane. But like Casey was saying, it doesn't have to always be one person. It really doesn't. So let's break down some things like anxiety. If you're struggling with anxiety or the pressure of just the academic process and everything else, there's always someone that's done it as well. If it's the academic portion of it, there's always someone that kind of figured it out in terms of studying. If it's passing the GRE, like, how the heck do I do that, Joseph and Casey? I took it once, I took it twice. I don't really know how to prepare. I read through the book like 3 times. I listened to like these 3 podcasts that were always reciting vocab stuff to me. I did all these things. Like, what am I doing wrong? Chances are, guys, I mean, like, there really is never anything new, you know, in the system. Chances are somebody went through it as well. Chances are somebody was at the point where you are right now. Chances are someone was just as frustrated as you are right now. Like, when Casey tells his story about getting denied that first cycle, Like you can see that it really like took a toll on him. You can see that he felt it. Now did he like stay in that state of just sadness and frustration? No, not for long. But did he feel it? You better doggone believe it. And so that's what we're asking y'all to seek out. That's what we're asking y'all to seek out, because as pre-PTs who are in an era where you have access to almost anything via internet, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, finding a mentor, getting a mentor, someone that can walk you right to what you want because they've already done it, is as easy as that. As easy as that. So Casey, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just close and end with this, and we said this before, like you can go through things and have experiences and learn from experiences, but if Joseph went through it already, if I went through it, if Sarah, if Greg, if Mariah, if somebody has went through it already and you can learn from them and save yourself time, like we say, save yourself money, save yourself frustration, anxiety, why not attach yourself to that family, that community of people, instead of saying, oh, I'm too good for that. Oh, I can do it on my own. Oh, I don't need this. I can just read something. I could just, Google some tips and I'll be good. However, those tips, that information is just there for that amount of time. Then you move on to the next one, trying to search for something new.
Exactly.
Like, then it's the same thing. Then you search for another video. Then it's the same thing. When you have a community of people, when you have mentors right there, when you have people you can reach out to, when you can call them, when you can message them and get that answer, and maybe get something that you may have not thought you were looking for.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, can I just have these tips for letters of recommendation? Oh, can I just have these? Is there a secret weapon to getting a 350 on the GRE or something like that? Then we tell you something different to change your mindset or to change your line of thinking, and boom, that was the thing that set you over the edge. That was the thing that bumped your GPA up. That was the thing that got you into PT school. Like a lot of our students are pretty much saying that same thing. They're like, oh, I came in here for some essay reviews, or I came in here to get some help on the interviews, and now I'm getting straight A's because of the community around me and the mindset and the accountability and responsibility. So when you're searching for mentors, when you're looking for mentors, really find someone who will not just give you the answers, be like, oh, do this, do that, but find someone who can make you think and guide you to that right decision and guide you to where you need to go in the future. Because everything is out there, information is there, nothing is new, like you just said. The difference is going to be who's in your ear at all times.
You got it.
That's going to be the difference. So
100%.
yeah, that's just my closing thoughts. What you got?
Oh, bro. Okay. So let me start with this. Like, I'll say this plenty of times. Whatever you're exposed to long enough always makes sense. Always makes sense. So even why we're doing this live video is that, one, like the first part, we do want y'all to find individuals that you guys look up to. We do want y'all to find mentors. We do want y'all to find individuals that are where y'all, and all of y'all just want to be in PT school. If you're a pre-PT on here, and you're watching it live or on the replay, you're trying to get into PT school, right? So finding someone that can actually help you navigate through that, but you also have to choose wisely. You really do. But even before that, I'll take a step back. You also have to know where you currently are. You have to be very clear, very, very well self-assessed. You have to be very clear on where you are in order to understand what you need. Does that make sense? Let me tell y'all a story. I don't think he'll mind me telling his story. I'm gonna pull him up. This young man, yo, what's up, Wesley? How you doing, brother? So this young man, Mr. Wesley, Mr. West, we call him Wes Curry. He's a young man right now, stationed overseas. I'm not gonna give all the deets and all that, but I have, like, in the few conversations we've had, I have sensed a hunger that was stronger than like anything I had when I was coming in as a pre-PT. And I'm talking like at the beginning of the pre-PT experience. This man got on a phone call with me not too long ago and pretty much was like, yo, listen, like he said a lot of different things, but the main premise was that he knew where he was. He knew where he was. He knew where he was in the process. He knew that he was early on in the process of getting into being a physical therapy student, but homeboy knew what he wanted. Does that make sense? He knew exactly what he wanted. And for him, it was clear. He was like, listen, I could go through this process. I could go through my ups and my downs. I could, trial and error. I could, buy into the main frustrations and doubts that come about, or every pre-PT all of us have gone through, or I could figure out how to win now at the beginning of my journey. That's actually why we call him Wes Curry, hinting at Steph Curry, who came in to a team that he was destined to win with. Does that make sense? Like, he came in, he was drafted into a championship, into a soon-to-be championship team. And so Wes was like, yo, I just want to pretty much make this happen. I'm just starting out. I'm overseas right now. I got to take care of some business. Then I'm starting my pre-PT journey, but put me in a position to win. So he chose us as his mentors. He was like, can y'all mentor me? Can y'all just like walk me through this process? Can y'all give me whatever y'all got, whether it's your frustrations, whether it's your failures, whether it's your successes, whether it's things that you guys have learned from your mentors, whether it's things you guys learned from your peers, whether, like, regardless of what it is, like, help me. And he was like, yo, y'all will be my mentors. Now, does that mean that we got to be your mentors? Nah, it doesn't. But for him, for what he wanted, he recognized that he was going to find it in what Casey and myself and our team were providing in the pre-PT success program. Does that make sense? So for all of you, y'all got to be at that point where you understand what your needs are. Does that make sense? That's a lot of time. Like, that's why we're getting to the application process. And 2 days before you submit, A, B, C, D, you're like, I don't know what's going, like, figure out, do you right now, before application opens, if you're applying this cycle, application opens July 5th. At least that's what they're saying, unless they change their mind. But July 5th is the date in the books. If it's opening in July 5th, you guys have to ask yourselves, if I'm applying this cycle, am I just writing things out? Is summer just starting, so I'm going to take it easy for the next month, and then I'll try to figure it out? Or am I going to be hungry and try to figure out all the things that I got to have lined up so that by the time July 5th starts, I'm not waiting to see the momentum build up on the pre-doctor of physical therapy students page before I get my ish together? Am I going to figure out how to win as a pre-PT? Am I going to stay ahead of the game? Do I understand what's going on inside? Do I understand what my needs are so that I can figure out who I need to go to help me navigate? Now, if it's us in the pre-PT success program, cool. If it's not, cool. But you have to figure that out. What we don't want is for y'all to keep going through this cycle over and over again, trying the same things, and then getting to the same result of not getting in. We want y'all to get in. If you really want to be a physical therapist, we want y'all to get in because the profession needs you. The doggone patients need you as well. But for you to get there, you're going to have to understand, like, where am I at in anything? I don't care if it's the GRE. I don't care if it's a class you're taking. I don't care if it's the application process. You only shoot in the dark when you have not self-assessed. The only reason why you should be applying to PTCAS and realizing that, oh, shoot, I didn't have everything lined up. I didn't even know there was an essay. I submitted and there was no essay. What? The only reason that should happen is because you actually did not self-assess. You did not take a moment to figure out what you knew and did not know. Does that make sense? So once you self-assess, once you identify what you need, once you identify where you're at, then figure out who you got to go to. If it's somebody local, figure it out. Like, find them. If it's someone that you know, a classmate, a friend that has gone through PT school already, find them. Figure it out because they've done it. And if they've done it, they can also help you navigate through it. If it's somebody online, because I know a lot of y'all have developed relationships with people online, like whether it's Facebook, Instagram, whatever, reach out to them, develop that relationship, figure out what you know and what you don't know. Once you do that, then it's clear as day what the track is. And if you find the mentor that can fill that hole, then you have found the right mentor. Does that make sense? And the goal is for all of y'all, regardless of your story. Like, I know it gets frustrating. I know it sucks applying and trying to figure out whether a school's going to accept you or not. I know it sucks hearing that your friends are getting into a physical therapy program. And this is why we say you got to stay in your own lane, because it's all going to happen for you in due time. Everybody's story is very different. And I know all those things are difficult, but at the same time, you have to be so locked into what you want while understanding where you are that the in-between just figures itself out. The in-between can be as long or as short as it needs to be. But to shorten it up, find as many people that know that in-between. Does that make sense? Like that's priceless to y'all, right? Like half of y'all are taking credits where it's like $500 a credit. At our school, it's like $1,000 a credit. And I took like a class for a credit that I don't even remember because I didn't really need it. And so if it's a 3 credit class, I'm paying like $3,000 at Andrews University. Some of y'all may be paying $1,000 for that, 1,500. Like, what's it really worth to you? If that's what one class is worth, what's it worth to you? Go find a mentor. All of y'all need a mentor, but you also need to become a mentor. Does that make sense? That's how this whole game gets changed. Y'all need to find a mentor that can help you win, that can give you the tools to win, but y'all also ultimately need to become mentors because the stories that y'all are living right now become the inspiration for the next gen of pre-PTs. That, like, why do y'all think I get so hyped when we got people like Samantha Ramos, and Gabby Mace and all of them in the pre-doctor physical therapy students page? Once they got accepted, they were out here helping everybody. Like, questions get asked, like they were just going in because they were like, yo, we just won. We want other people to win too. Does that make sense? Like, that's how it should work. That's how it should be. If you guys have not found a mentor, it's about time. It's about time. We don't want you guys to make mistakes that can be prevented. Does that mean that there will not be other mishaps that will? No, like that's life. But if you can limit that as much as possible while also surrounding yourself with people that believe in you, people that are willing to do whatever it takes to see you win, then you really can't lose. You really can't lose because those are the people that you keep with you, the ride or dies, from now as a pre-PT to when you're a physical therapy student to when you're a physical therapist and on. I'm only saying that because that's the same thing that happened to me. That's the same thing that happened to Casey. Same people we were riding with as pre-PTs as our mentors, same people, helping us win now as professionals. So ask yourself that question. Where am I? What are my needs? Who's got the freaking answer? Let me make it happen. It's priceless to the right person. And if you guys find the right mentor for you, you'll never regret it. There's the amount of money you're willing to pay, the amount of time you're willing to spend, it doesn't even matter. You're never going to be limited. So that's it. That's why you guys need to find a mentor. That's how you identify who your mentor is. And that's how you know that when you bank on that mentor, you go win big time. Sounds good?
That's it. That's it.
Man. So y'all let us know if you guys have any questions. If you guys are like, yo, I want to figure out how to get this mentorship thing on lock. I got a cycle coming up, whether it's this cycle or maybe last cycle didn't go so hot, or I want to prepare for 2019, or I want to be like Wes Curry and I want to be on top of it right now, regardless of how many years from now I'm going to actually apply. If y'all want to figure that out, hit us up. Send us a message at contact3ptgrind.com. Like, hit us up and be like, yo, like, how can I get this mentorship? How can I get this mentorship thing lined up? How can I find somebody? Like, where can I find that? Is it you, Joseph and Casey? Is it somebody else? Like, how do I figure it out? And we'll walk you through it, because if you guys can find that right person, it's game over. As long as you guys know where you're at, as long as you know what you want, as long as you find someone that can put it in between for you, and then y'all turn around and do the same dang thing for the future pre-PTs. That's it.
Yeah, there would not be a pre-PT grind right now. There would not be a video right now if we did not have mentors ourselves. If we did not seek that out. And if we did not put in that time, that money, that work, you guys wouldn't even be getting mentored right now. So if that's any consolation, if that's any confirmation about what you need to do for the future, I say go all in for it. Find that person and rock out with them.
You got it. So y'all, if you guys have any questions, go to contactpreptgrind.com. If y'all are like, yo, I want mentorship, I want to figure this game out, I want to do whatever it takes to win, contactpreptgrind.com. We'll help y'all through that process. Let's get it. Y'all have a great Thursday. Many blessings. We'll see y'all next week. Bye.